Hello and welcome to week 4 of EDU 507. First, a quick apology to those of you who I was delayed on responding to this week. I greatly apologize. Had a very busy week between work and kids' activities and did not get on to do Concordia as much as I would usually like. So I apologize for that, and I will try to make sure I hit that 24-hour expectation moving forward. So I apologize for that. One other note, one of you noticed that this page number was originally wrong. It was 286. It was actually 206. So thank you for catching that. Greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to keep this video short, as you have a video to watch for the week. And we're halfway through, and I generally try to do a bit of a break week in the middle. But this is also a week that assignment is due. So I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible for you guys. So our focus for week 4 is the 4 principles of trauma-informed classroom community. There's more than 4, but these specific 4 that the books talk about. Restorative justice practices in trauma-informed schools. We're going to talk about 5 principles identified in that video. Traditional disciplinary systems in trauma versus traditional PBIS and trauma-informed PBIS. I try to reset a process of moving a person from a deregulated state or a dysregulated state to a restored, balanced person. The learning objections are to demonstrate an understanding of the reset process of trauma-informed school practices and evaluate common behavioral systems such as PBIS, responsive classroom, and restorative practices through a trauma-informed lens. We're going to critically analyze restorative justice practices in schools through a trauma-informed lens and engage with and summarize the research literature about how professional educators best promote resilience and recovery for the children and their families who have experienced traumatic events. This one here is assignment 2. So your activities are watch this video as well as the video that is in the course materials. It's right there. You're going to read career chapters 3, 4, and 5. How does trauma-informed PBIS compare? And watch that video. Complete the discussion board learning activities. And then complete and submit assignment 2. A couple of you have already submitted assignment 2 and they look great. Just a reminder on that. You do not need to have an APA cover or reference page, as the references are throughout, but make sure that you enter everything alphabetically by author. Just like you usually would on a reference page, an annotated bibliography should be sorted alphabetically. So discussion board 1. After watching the video about restorative justice, provide a critical analysis of restorative justice practices in schools through a trauma-informed lens. In what ways does this approach align with what you know about trauma-informed care? In what ways might it not? I'm actually just going to switch over because every once in a while they change these in here. In the event of bullying, restorative justice practices in school might suggest that practitioners should work with the student that was harmed and the student that did the harm to come together and repair harm. Do you agree with this approach? Can you envision instances where you would not follow this approach? I can say, as somebody who was bullied quite a bit in elementary and middle school, I would not have wanted to work with the bullies. That would have been very aggravating and or re-traumatizing for me. And discussion board 2, write a succinct 1-paragraph summary of the reset process. In a second paragraph, describe a reset process proactive form, which is on page 69, that you have utilized. Was it effective? And what may need further attention to support success? For both of these, please remember to include citations and respond to 2 cohort peers. Assignment 2, just a reminder, that is due this Saturday at midnight. The purpose is to engage with literature, do some reading of articles that are not just the assigned ones. You're going to find 10 peer-reviewed articles that are about effective or exemplary teaching practices 5 just general, and 5 focusing on trauma. If you do more on trauma, that is just fine. Make sure you list them alphabetically. And at the end of the day, I am not as focused on the formatting of this as the content and having 10, because this is something that I hope that you actually take and use throughout the program. Because as I mentioned last week, it's something that you can use when you're putting together your review of literature for your final paper to go back and see these again. One thing I do suggest is adding between the annotation and the paragraph a line on keywords, so that if you wanted to, you could search this later for keywords. And a quick look forward at a management systems analysis, which is our 3rd assignment, due February 10th. That is not correct, so that is old. But it is due Saturday of week 6. By midnight. So the purpose of this one is to conduct a critical analysis of a classroom management program or system through a trauma-informed lens. This should be written in 3rd person. It needs at least 1 in-text citation from course readings and at least 2 other scholarly sources. You need to explain what the classroom management program or system is, including a historical look at when and why the program was first established and how it functions in the classroom. That chunk should be 1 to 2 pages. And then analyze the positive and negative elements of the program. In what ways does the program embrace behaviorist principles? In what ways does the program embrace trauma-informed principles? That should be at least 1 page. These are minimums here, as some of these sections could take a bit longer depending on how deep the analysis goes. And then analyze the classroom management program through the lens of a child in the classroom who has a moderate to high ACEs score. In what way might the program foster healing, and what ways might it foster further dysregulation or even re-traumatization? And then, as part of your wrap up, a critical advocacy to either adopt, alter, or abandon the program. Make sure you provide a clear rationale for your advocacy. And a conclusion, kind of wrapping up the entire thing. Now, for this week, we're going to do a mid-course check-in. Generally, these are Google Forms, but I find that this is a little bit easier. Are there any challenges that you are encountering? How can I best assist or support you in resolving them? What are 2 things that you learned in the course thus far that you didn't know before or revisited as applicable in your role now? What is 1 topic area you will or continue to deep dive before this course is over? And question or feedback you have for me is this. Please respond to at least 2 of these. Get in touch. I will respond within 24 hours this week. I apologize to those of you who got delayed responses this week. Have a great week. I don't have to say stay warm because it's warming up. So have a great week.